is a little bit earlier in the service than usual. There's a reason for this, and by the end of it, I'm sure you'll know why. This is often a time when we close our prayer books, put them away. But if you still have it open, I'll ask you keep it open. If you put it away, I'll let you know we're going to take a look at it together in a few minutes, in a few ways for our upcoming prayers and how they connect to this week's Torah portion. So speaking of, does anybody know what this week's Torah portion is, what it's called? Did you say? Vayigash is next week. That's close. This one is Vayigash, which means he approached, or he stepped forward. The word appears at an intensely dramatic moment when Joseph, with the power of his royal position in Egypt, frames his younger brother Benjamin for theft and threatens to enslave him. Their brother, Judah, then steps forward toward Joseph. That's how the Torah portion begins. Vayigash elav Yehuda. Judah stepped forward to him, to Joseph, and he then delivers the longest speech in the book of Genesis, taking responsibility for their family conflict, offering himself in Benjamin's place, and ultimately making the crucial first move toward family reconciliation between Joseph and his brothers. It's a powerful image, Judah stepping forward, and there are a number of artistic renderings of this moment, in request of Benjamin's release and in protection of their father Jacob, who couldn't bear to lose another son. A medieval rabbi, 12th and 13th century, in Western Germany, known as Eleazar of Worms, noticed that this word Vayigash, step forward, initiated a pivotal moment of request and put together that there are two other instances in the Hebrew Bible of Vayigash coming at these critical, high-stakes moments. First, when Abraham hears of God's plans to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, getting some nods from the Torah study, Saturday morning Torah study crew. We did that a month or two ago. He steps forward to advocate on their behalf. Vayigash Avraham. Abraham stepped forward and said, "Will you sweep away the righteous with the wicked? Shall the judge of all the earth not do justice?" And then in the book of Kings, Elijah the prophet is competing with 450 followers of the foreign god Baal to establish who is the one true God. And again, we see this word, Vayigash Eliyahu. This time, Elijah stepped forward and prayed, "O Adonai, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, let it be known today that you are God in Israel and that I am your servant and have done all these things at your command." Fire then descends, proving the dominion of the Hebrew God, and everyone falls to the ground, reciting Adonai hu ha-Elohim, which you may recognize from the end of Yom Kippur. Adonai is the one true God. So here we have three highly dramatic scenes, three uncertain fates with the lives of the residents of Sodom and Gomorrah, Benjamin's freedom, and God's reputation all on the line, and Abraham, Judah, and Elijah all Vayigash. They step forward. That medieval rabbi, Eleazar of Worms, says this is why we traditionally take 3 steps forward before the prayers of the Amidah. Has anyone ever done or seen this? Maybe in a traditional synagogue or growing up, it can be typical to take 3 steps forward before the Avot V'Imahot prayer. So this is why Elazar of Worms, this is why he says we do this. Once for Abraham stepping forward as he advocated for justice, once for Judah stepping forward as he pleads for mercy for his family, and once for Elijah stepping forward to honor God. So either way, whether you've seen this or not yet, the common idea behind this is that we take these steps forward as if we are stepping into God's holy palace, showing respect and intentionally pursuing a conversation with the divine. But Abraham, Judah, and Elijah frame these steps differently. We step forward like Abraham stepped forward to pray on behalf of strangers, to pray for justice, to pray for there to be goodness even in the midst of evil, to speak truth to power. We step forward like Judah, who didn't know that he was speaking to his brother Joseph, pleading for the freedom and for the safety of our siblings, pleading to protect loved ones from suffering, pleading to reconcile family conflict. And we step forward like Elijah, standing up for what we know to be true, standing up for our people and our tradition, standing up for God. These little steps forward carry with them this great significance. A rabbi named Saul Berman takes this connection between Vayigash in the Hebrew Bible and our stepping forward in the Amidah one step further. And this is when, if you have your prayer book by you, I'll ask that you take a look at page 48. And when we chant in, now it's pretty soon, when we chant pretty soon, the words, V'zocher chasdei avot v'imahot, remember the kindnesses, these acts of chesed of our ancestors. This Rabbi Saul Berman teaches we remember Abraham's prayer on behalf of the people of Sodom and Gomorrah. Next, on page 50, we'll chant Somech noflim verofei cholim umatir asurim. We pray to the God who supporting the fallen, healing the sick, and freeing the captive. And when we chant this, we remember Judah's speech before Joseph on behalf of his captive brother and his family, who is in a very low place. And then on page 52, we'll chant Ata Kadosh V'Shimcha Kadosh. You are holy, and your name is holy. And when we do this, we remember Elijah's prayer, which brought God's presence into their midst. So these steps forward are rich in meaning, and they can also inform how we pray. We gather together like this in prayer. We pray for those we don't know. We pray for our families. We pray for God's presence to be manifest in the world. And we take those steps forward like Abraham, like Judah, like Elijah. We are becoming active participants of our lives, of our tradition, expressing what we most need to express like our spiritual ancestors did before us. And so with all of that backdrop of this week's Torah portion, Vayigash, of stepping forward like Abraham and Judah and Elijah, of the implicit connections in these next three prayers, I'll invite you to rise if you are able to do so. And if you would like to try it out, I can invite you to take 3 steps forward, if you wish, as we are on page 48 for Avot Ve'imahot.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor VaNorah El Elyon Gomer Chasadim Tovim Vekonei HaKol V'zocher Chasdei Avot V'imahot Mevi Gula Livnei Vneihem Leman Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer Moshiach Magen Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avram ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah giboy le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol atah, Rav lehoshia. Mashiv haruach u'merid Hashem. Mekarkel chayim bechesed, Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim. Somek nofnim, ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני, מקיים הכל. אתה קדוש, מפני שמך הקדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Everybody may be seated, and thank you, Cantor, for accentuating those phrases,
Pleasure.
especially those ones about stepping forward.